Oh, hello, everyone. Let's get everything all hooked up. Just give me a second. And gotta move a couple things around, so just bear with me. All right. Gonna move this up. Perfect. Ooh, we can move that back a bit. It's not so glary. That'll do. It's a little better. All right. We are getting there. All right, let's get everything all set up with my iPad. Ooh, it looks good today. Hello, Chris. Thanks for stopping by. All right. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. And I'm not complaining. All right. So Chris is here. If anybody else is here, just drop a quick comment just to say hello. But we are going to get into some crafting very shortly. And today is what I call an ambitious Facebook Live, because the idea I came up with, I just kept coming up with more and more ideas for what I could do to create this card for our June challenge. And after I sat and thought about it, I'm like, oh, Justin, this is a lot for a Facebook Live, but we're going to do it and it's going to be great. And I'm super excited. So if anything, my excitement will carry me through. But we'll get started in just a second. If you are here, drop a quick comment just to say hello. I know Chris already said hi. I've got my crafting station all set up. I'm trying to stand while crafting for the first time today for a Facebook Live. So that will be fun. All right, let's get into a little bit of details. So I have tried to make it a habit recently of doing Facebook Lives every month that reflect the monthly challenge theme. We've done some really fun cards in the past. Last month was Mother May I. We made a card with a fairy godmother on it. I believe we did a floral card before that for spring. What did we do? What was March? I don't remember March. I can't go back that far in my head, but I'm sure it was something fun. But this time, our theme is summer lovin', and there's two different ways that I kind of anticipated that you could take this theme. You could go with the seasonal route and do something summery, or you could go with the lovin' route and do like a love themed card. I like to focus on more seasonality, so we're gonna do something summery using the hot and cold stamp set. Let me go ahead and grab it. And I asked a question yesterday where I asked, what do you guys think that we're going to be using for today's live? And most people said we were going to be using the hot guy, but actually we're going to use the cold guy today because I have kind of a fun idea for a card that combines both hot and cold elements, but I really wanted to focus on this chill sentiment that comes with this guy. So we're going to be working with the cold guy, but we're not going to get into coloring first because, like I said, I'm feeling a little ambitious today, and I wanted to show off a new product that I got in my craft space, and that is the Simon Hurley Solar Paste, and this is in Beluga, and it is a paste that I want to use, and using a paste means I need to give it time to dry. So I figured we would start with this. So what I've gone ahead and done is I do have an oval, a stitched oval that I use from a die cut in my stash that I die cut from like a light blue cardstock. And we're gonna do a little bit of ink blending to start. Oh, and I just realized I didn't grab my ink colors for my other colors that I wanna use, but I do have them for this. So let's go in with some Salty Ocean and grab my blending tool. And usually I've got a stamping block on my desk. Let me see. Let me just grab one from over here for the time being. All right, it's a little dirty, so forgive me for that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just start distressing the edge of this with Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink. And if you guys are stopping by, drop a quick comment just to say hello so I know that you're here. Just kind of go around. I use this block to protect my hand, but also to protect my die cut from any sort of smudging. I do apologize. You're going to hear my not so little dog in the background clomping around. He wanted to stay out while I was doing my Facebook Live, and I figured why not. So, all right, so we've got our salty ocean. And let's go in now with another color, which is going to be prize ribbon, which is just a little darker. And let me grab my blending tool for this. Dab off the excess and just kind of make that edge a little darker. See how it's just making that die cut just a little darker on the edge. I might even go in with a little bit more salty ocean. Just kind of darken up that die cut. Just like that. All right. Next we'll go back in with some of that salty ocean just to kind of smooth some bits out. And you're probably seeing that I have a big old blue spot on one of my fingers on my left hand. And that's because I was trying to refill some of my Copic markers before today's live and had just a little casualty. Nothing major, just a little staining on my skin. All right, perfect. So we've got that all distressed. Now let's go in with some water. Oh, we'll clean up our ink first. Going with some water. I've got my distress sprayer. And let's just brush that off a little bit. I'm just gonna go in, splatter it with a little water so we get some bleach marks for a little extra effect, add a little bit of interest. And I'm gonna take my craft towel. Just like that. Could probably do a little bit more, honestly. Love my Kindred craft towel. Actually, I think I have 2 of them. All right. So now what I want to go ahead and do is I have the Christmas sweater stencil. I'm going to line this up on the back. I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab some mint tape. Just to kind of secure it down. Probably going to use a couple more pieces in all honesty. Just because I like it to be nice and secured to my stencil. Now, while I'm getting this all secured, don't forget, I'm sure in a couple days you're going to see a notification in the group that our June release is coming up next week, with next week Friday being our release day. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming out. We always do, but there's some extra fun stuff that I'm really excited to share with y'all. And let me grab a piece of paper to put underneath this. But yeah, mark your calendars because it's release time. All right, so we're gonna use this Beluga Solar Paste, and I want to paste. I apologize. And let me talk about this solar paste just for a hot second. So the solar paste changes colors depending on what color you put it on and if it's reflecting in the light or not. So usually, the Beluga is advertised as blue. Like traditionally it's blue. So if you put it on darker cardstock, you're gonna get blue. But because it's like a pearlescent sort of effect going on, it also can get like orange if you use it on like a lighter paper or if it's like against the light. So it's a really fun and different product to use. It's different than the Lunar Paste because those are solid colors. These are predominantly white. coverage. Scrape off the excess. Just like that. And like I said, if you're stopping by, drop a quick comment to say hello, just so I know that you're here. And let's see. And there we go. So go ahead and put that in some water along with my tools. Dry off my hand. All right, we're gonna set this aside to dry. Now, being up front, I did prep one in case this one doesn't dry fully. So we'll just kind of see as time goes on. Crap my paper, no. That's okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this away. And then why don't we get into a little bit of hot foiling next? Kind of do some bits and bobs for everything. It's not my normal order. I like to color first, but not today. I'm gonna say not today, Satan, not today. Let's go ahead and clean off our glass mat. Perfect. And all right, we're gonna actually do a little bit more ink blending. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab some blending cardstock. Dry this off. Grab my tools. I need mustard seed and ripe persimmon. There we go. And I know when the Sea Monster Kids set came out, I used a very similar color palette for a card when I did that release because it gave me like Mediterranean vibes. So I'm using like the same palette for this of like blues, yellows, and like orangey reds. But this is not a Mediterranean themed card. It's just because I like the colors. So let's go in with some mustard seed, and I will grab my ink holder or ink stand. Ooh, I hope this is clean. And we're just gonna go in, distress those edges. And I'm not so worried about the center because this is gonna get covered. But I'll do a nice blend, don't worry. So I'm just kind of going in, getting that mustard seed in there. Like so, like that. All right. And we'll go in, kind of soften this a little bit. I probably would do that with like a squeezed lemonade if I was exposing it. Actually, I probably would have done the squeezed lemonade first, but we're not doing that today. All right, that's gonna work for now because I don't need it to be perfect. And I am gonna go back to it in a second, but we're gonna go in with some ripe persimmon and just kind of blend. And then I'll go in with mustard seed afterwards to bring the mustard seed color out. And we'll be good to go. Ink blending is just a lot of like pushing and pulling colors until you get those smooth transitions. Just like that. All right, now I'm gonna go in with some mustard seed. Go back to that one for a second. All right. And that's gonna help blend out that ripe persimmon so it's not so starkly present. And it's all gonna work together, I promise. If you guys are stopping by, drop a quick comment just to say hello. I know it's been a couple minutes since anyone said, hello, Lisa. There we go. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Chris says her. Oh, you know what? I am missing a handful of comments. I'm getting them all right now. So let's go back to those. Hello, Lisa. Chris says she's got hands that get splotches on them, so I know I'm not alone. Hello, Gwen. And hello, Leanne. And oh, Lisa, you're so sweet. Thank you. It's a really pretty combination of colors. It's a shame I'm going to be covering most of it up, but keep this color combo in your back pocket for a future project. It'll come in handy. All right, let's go in. We'll do a little bit of splattering. And we'll pick it up with my craft towel. And that looks pretty darn good. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna spray this down. You know, while I'm cleaning, let me get my foiling machine ready for some hot foiling. All right, so I've got that, so that should be easy to move, hopefully. That way I can clean this up. Sorry about that. You know, guys, sometimes I have a real issue with Facebook because they keep changing how just like the process of things happens. And it used to be for Facebook Lives, all the comments would just scroll on my screen and it'd be really easy to keep track of everything. Now I've got to like refresh the screen. They don't all load at the same time. So I am so sorry if I miss any comments. That I promise I'm not ignoring. I'm trying to keep up to date with everything, and it is not doing the greatest for me. So, all right. While I've got my die cutting or my glimmer machine warming up off to the side, I'm gonna get our warp speed hot foil plate all ready to go, and I'm going to use it with some copper deco foil. This is hot foil. So let's get this all cut. I like to trim the edge off. And I do like to use a rotary trimmer when I'm trimming my foils. It works very nicely. I totally stole this tip from Simon Hurley. When I saw him do it, I'm like, you know what? I have a rotary trimmer in my stash. I should try it. Tried it, game changer, never going back. All right. We're gonna unroll this more. All right, and I've got a little bit of waste off to the side, but that's okay. Now, I know I said I'm using like a copper deco foil. This is with one of, like I said, deco foil, so that's ThermoWeb. This is the closest hot foil they have to orange. And that's what I wanted to go with. They don't have like a yellow or an orange, but what they have is copper and gold. So I'm just kind of like, you know what, that's what we're going with tonight, and that'll just have to work. All right, perfect. I'm trying to, let's see, let's refresh some comments, see if I'm missing anything. Like I said, I'm so sorry if I'm missing comments. I know Chris has been talking. Oh, you guys are so sweet. And hello, Debbie. All right, so let's go in. We are going to, I'm going to use some of my mint tape to kind of make a hinge. I probably don't need it to be that big. Let's go smaller. I'm going to just kind of put it like this. And then I'm going to do, for my hinge, I'm gonna go ahead and put it like that. Oh, you know, I should probably just layer it right on top. That'd be easier. All right. So then what I'm gonna go ahead and do, now how does this work? I think it works. I put it like that. And then I will smooth everything out in a second. There we go. Just like that. Am I doing this correct? Hold on. It's going, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Let me grab my glimmer machine. And I do it like this. I know it's a little backwards. It's okay. All right. All right, let's see comments. Refreshing, trying not to fall super far behind. Hello, Kelly. All right, so I'm letting this warm up. I'll push this off to the side. All right, how about questions? Anybody got any questions while we're waiting to do some hot foiling? Anything that I can answer for you? Why not, while we're waiting for everything to warm up? Good chance to take a break with some water too. I just realized we've been doing this for like 20 something minutes and I haven't colored a darn thing yet. Oh my goodness. Like I said, this is an ambitious Facebook Live tonight, but that is okay. Once the coloring and the cutting's done, I think most of what I need to do will be there. And I'm taking a break to sit down too from all the sitting, or standing rather, so that'll be good. All right, we've got a green light, so we're gonna hit our timer. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my die cutting machine. Let me see, I'm gonna move this a little bit off to the side. And let's get this all ready. We're getting there, y'all. Chris, I am using a glimmer machine that it's made by Spellbinders. I believe Gemini has a hot foiling machine as well. And Kelly, we are going cold tonight. So most of the guesses were wrong, but it was fun to see what everyone was thinking because most people thought it was going to be the hot guy. And I'm like, no, we're going to have a chill summer. We're not going to have a hot summer. It's going to be a chill summer sort of card. All right, we've got our green light. I'm going to get my sandwich all ready to go. All right. Let's go ahead and get some hot foiling. And we got a jumper, that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this back in. Let's make sure everything went as I wanted it to. Oh, where's my tool? There it is. All right. All right. This turned out pretty. I shouldn't sound so surprised, but it turned out pretty perfectly. I'm gonna take my negative off. See, you can see my negative of my impression. I could save that for later, as it goes right in the trash because I'm probably not gonna use it. I know, doesn't that sound terrible? I'm not the greatest when it comes to using scraps at times. So, especially scraps like that, sometimes foil can really easily get crinkled. So, all right, let's move this off and move my die cutting machine just for a second because I'll go back to that in a little bit. But let's look at this. This turned out really pretty and it looks like sun rays. So I like that. Oh, I forgot that I have to put a weight on my And we're gonna actually die cut this down to size in a little bit, but we won't do that right now. Thank you so much, Gwen. I'm just seeing your comment now. How does a hot foil machine work? Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So before hot foil, there was just regular like transfer foils, which basically worked that you would apply a paste of sorts, typically, onto a project, let the paste dry, put the foil on top, and then use a heat or a pressure method to transfer the foil to the project. Then there's also toner items as well, where you use a heat transfer method, like a laminator, to transfer foil to a pre-printed toner design. Now, how hot foil works is it takes out that gel or toner medium, and it's strictly heat and pressure working together. So you have to buy a foil plate, like a hot foil plate, a hot foil machine, and the hot foil itself, because a hot foil is different than a transfer foil. And how it's going to work is you put your plate onto the hot foiling machine. We'll just say Glimmer because that's what I use. So you put it on your Glimmer, you let it warm up. Once it's warmed up, you put your foil on top. You put the pretty side is touching the foil plate, the design of the foil plate, and then you put your paper on top, and the paper should be touching the dull side of the foil, and then you put like another part of your sandwich on top, like a die cutting machine. So there's like usually 2 plates or so that go on top. You process it through your die cutting machine once or twice, and then you take it off, and you have, because of the pressure, you've got a transfer method that you get something just like this. So that's how it works. It takes away the need for paste. It kind of improves your accuracy because you're investing in the plates that have a designated design. So yeah, that's the gist of it. All right, let's see. Why don't we do some coloring? Let's get our guy out, and then I think we can start working on getting most bits together. So I'm thinking he's not going to be too terrible to color because he's mostly white. So when I do white, I don't really add a lot of color because there's not really a need. So I'm going in with some B00, which is frost blue. And I'm going to call it his skin is like a very, very slightly blue white, like a whitish blue. This got me in the mood for ice cream too. All right, so let's go in. He's not going to have any sort of blush. And for whatever reason, I don't think he's naked, but his pants are like the same color as his skin. So, all right, so we got that all taken care of. Perfect. Next, we're gonna go in with a lighter blue. We'll do some B000. I'm trying to think how I want to do, because I think these are supposed to be like his lips, but I think I want to keep them like his teeth. Personal choice. So I'm going to color those differently than his skin. It's my project. I can color it how I want, right? All right. Then we're going to do some B000. Just like that. I kind of don't want to add too much more, but just for a good saturation, we're going to repeat our colors. I just don't want him looking pale. And sometimes I feel that when I only color an image once and I don't get that good ink saturation going, that my image just has like a paleness to it that I don't really want. All right. Perfect. Let's go with that 000 once again. I guess I should be a little grateful because if I was coloring up a human, my flesh tones can take a while to color out. So I guess if I'm being ambitious, at least I'm not doing a character that has a lot of different colors going on. He's pretty, we'll use the term monochromatic. All right. And go back in with some B_0. This, his little sleeves. Honestly, he would also look cute with some like pink blush. Not a red, but more of like a pink. I'm not doing it, but he would look cute with that. All right, so we've got his skin, quote unquote skin ready. Now let's go in. I'm gonna use a little bit of that B00. I'm gonna add just a little bit of shadow because his hair is more white than his skin. His hair is honestly more like snow, like I don't know, frozen snow, I guess I would just say. And no, that's not that. No. All right, next we're gonna go in with some, we'll do some C2. Just because I figured that'll pull in a little bit of the blueness, even though it's already a cool gray. Oh shoot, I forgot that he has a snowball. That's the other thing that I forgot. Go back to that B00. There we go. Back to C2. Now we'll do some C0. And this is just gonna give some nice variation between his skin and his hair, even though it's all like ice. Finish off with some C00. See if I'm missing anything. I agree, Kelly. Great way to practice some of your blue tones. I'll probably be adding some highlights to him as well. All right, let's go in to that B00 again. C2. I'm not going to do a snowball again. It was just too tiny. C0. And some C00. Perfect. All right, we're making progress. Next, let's go in, let's work on his sweater, the band of his hat, and then let's do his actual hat. So his actual hat is like very slightly wicker. So I'm gonna do like a light wicker blend to it. my reasoning for doing his hat is because I'm not that excited about his hat. It's like one of my least favorite parts of his costume. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Let's just be one. And finish with some E50. All right, we'll go repeat those to get a little bit of saturation going. So do 5-3. And if this wasn't so pale, I probably would have used E55 as a shadow, but I was afraid of making this too dark because it's really a light colored hat. It's basically like slightly yellowish white, and I'm already making it darker than I think it's supposed to look, but my image, I can color it however I want. That's the rule, right? Do some 5-0. All right, now we'll work on the other elements. So we'll go to some B26, which is going to be the color of his sweater. Yes, and the color of the band of his hat. All right, and then yes, that'll be good for now. Yes. Okay, I'm on the path that I want to be on. All right, we'll do some B24. Make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, we're good. A little bit of B23. I don't really love using B23 and B24 together because they're kind of pretty close in my opinion. I feel like it makes things darker. I don't know, but I wanted to use it just so I had that tone in there. Do some B21. Perfect. Remember, I'm supposed to be coloring his scarf too. So we'll go back to that in a second. All right, so let's go back. Let's color his scarf. I'm just gonna do two tones with this. Because I'm gonna add some detail. Add some B23. And go with some B21. Oh, that could have been maybe a little later, but that's okay. All right, going back in. So we're gonna do some B26. I'm going to skip B23 on this next go around. I already laid it down. I don't really need it, but I am going to add some stripes to his scarf. Just like that. Let's go in with some B24. finish with some B21. I think what it is I wish B21 was actually slightly lighter than it is. And I used these same colors for this chill word, except for the very top I used B00. So his sweater predominantly is the same color as the chill word, with just a slight modification with adding one extra highlight color. All right, perfect. Now let's work on his shoes, his staff, his gloves. Those are all gonna be the same color. So let's go in with some, we got B66, B63, and where is my 60? There it is. Awesome. So I'm gonna go in, add that to his staff. His gloves are that color. The ball's that color, and his shoes are also that color. I'm gonna have to add his cuffs for his shoe. That's okay. I can do that. Perfect. I'm gonna do some B63. I do like the B6s. They're very like slightly purpley, where they really could almost be like in the blue violet family, but they're not. They are in the blue family of Copics, at least. Doesn't mean that it's correct, but hey, it's there, we're using it. All right. He is really getting there. And like I said, we'll add some gel pen accents too, because he definitely needs a little bit of that. So let's go in B2, B66 again. That B63. I'll check comments shortly, I promise. I'm gonna do a little bit over here. And B60. I just realized I'm gonna have a little crevice to cut into with him. That's okay. All right, perfect. Let's work on his mouth and his shoe cuffs. Let's do, all right, so we're gonna do for his teeth, I'm gonna do some C3. Like I said, I think those are supposed to be his lips, but that's okay. Let's do some C0 and C00. C00. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of C3 just to give those corners a little bit of darkness. Perfect. And then let's do his inside of his mouth. Oh, y'all, we are almost there. Let's see. Hello, Patsy. This is C7. Oh, I'm glad you're loving it, Kelly. Blue, I do love blues too. Blue greens are actually my favorite. And a lot of times when I am coloring, and I'm coloring ice, I tend to shift towards blue greens rather than just blues. And I'm like, no, not for this guy. He needs to be predominantly blue. C5 and C3. Perfect. All right. So he is all colored up. Let's add a little bit of accents to him. Let's see, I've got, where's my B01? I know I grabbed it. I know I grabbed it. I thought I grabbed it. Maybe I didn't. That's okay. We'll grab B00. I'm just going to add a couple with my B00. Just a couple little polka dotties. Just like that. To his face. And then let's go ahead. Let's go in with a white gel pen. Add some more polka dots, just little spots, just to make them look a little more frosty. I know his hat band had polka dots, so we're gonna add those in. And then let's also some lines for his hair. Do that. All right, perfect. We'll add a little bit of a highlight to his staff. And that's cool. It's chill. And let's add a little bit to that. All right, we are in a fussy cutting mode now. So let's go ahead and get this all cut out. We'll cut him out first. All right, so we're just gonna fussy cut him out. But Kelly, it sounds like you've got lots of fun blue things in your home. I love it. I originally, so when we moved into our house, we painted everything but the bathrooms. Now that sounds really exciting, and it was because I love what we painted. However, we painted every room the same color, and we painted every room gray. We picked a like very slightly warm gray. If you were to look at like Copic markers, I'm telling you, we probably picked like close to like a T1 or a T2 for our walls. And I love it. I really, really do. I mean, most people are going to say like, well, that's not exciting because you didn't do any color, but I did want to do a colored bathroom, and I was going to be like, you know what? Let's paint the bathroom like navy blue, like a dark navy blue. That was my initial thought. And I'm usually opposed to this, but I thought that maybe it would look cool if we did gold like fixtures, so like handles and faucets and whatnot. Lo and behold, the bathroom's still not painted, and I think I've changed my mind. But that was the closest I've gotten to having blue in my house for a wall color. But I do love my blues. Love my blues, love my teals. I used to think when I was younger that red was my favorite color because I love the vibrancy and like the passion behind it. But as I've gotten older, I have found that the color that makes me happiest is a good, soft blue-green. There's just something so calming about it. There can be something like casual yet classy about it. So I don't know. Just my preference. I really don't dislike any color that's got a little bit of vibrancy to it. When you start getting into muted tones is probably where you start to lose me. Oh, I just realized I didn't bring my foam tape over here. That's okay, I'll grab it when I need it. So, let's go. I love gray too. I really do. That's why when Lost Shadow was announced as the most recent distress color, I was so happy because that's also probably the closest distress color to the walls in my house. So. All right, we've got our little snow guy all cut out. Get my little scraps. I know I got to do this chill word too. Me and my ambitious ideas, that's okay. This chill word, I just have to be careful with it because it's like bumpy on the bottom. So I want to make sure that I'm doing like the words justice in the way that I'm cutting it. Our little guy all ready to go. Let me grab, oh no. Let's see, let me make sure. All right, we're good. My screen froze for a second and I was like, oh no. I just hope it didn't freeze for you guys too. But if it did, I hope I am back in business. All right, so let's throw out some scraps and start working on the rest of our card. We've got some die cutting ahead of us. What I want to do next is we're going to customize our sentiment. It's going to say, oh no, why did I roll over that? Hold on one second. I'm going to need to fix that eventually. So our sentiment is going to say, wishing you a chill summer, and I've got to create summer from our stitched alpha dies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our white persimmon, and I'm just going to kind of do it along the bottom of here. Not even re-inking it. Just like that. Perfect. And then I've got my die cuts all ready to go. So let's spell out summer. And we're also going to accommodate for that M. So let's go ahead, we'll die cut these out. And then like that. Oh shoot, where'd my top plate go? There we go. Let's go ahead. Move that, because it's got to be moved. And we'll die cut this out. And, oop, we got a jumper. It's okay. Let's set those off to the side. Have a nice little bit of an ombre on them. That's okay. That's exactly what we're going for. Right. And I've got to die cut my M one more time to spell out summer, of course. So we're gonna just pop it right there. Perfect. So we've got that. While we have our die cutting machine out, I'm gonna go back, grab my warp plate, my warp speed plate, and my card basics. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the rectangle. Let's see, we want to get this as centered as we can. That's pretty good. We'll take that And then, let's see if I can grab this little scrap. Put that right there. All right. And we've got our warp speed all cut out. We're getting somewhere. Where are we going yet? I don't fully know. No idea. I have no idea. I'm just being sassy. All right. I'm just trying to put things away as I'm using them because I have used a lot of things. All right. I think I'm done with my die cutting machine, so that's good. Sorry about that. And of course it sticks. All right, I want to go ahead. We'll do a little bit of gluing. Let's make sure I haven't missed anything overly dire. Oh, Kelly said it froze too. All right, we're going back. So everyone froze. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It's a really good plate. I promise. Well, of course, I'm going to say that about most things. So, all right. So I'm going ahead right now, and I'm adhering all of my letters. I already went through and die cut these before my live. And when I did that, I stacked them. So which means I just adhered die cuts on top of the same die cut. And it just helps create dimension. So these are like 3 die cuts all adhered to each other. I'm also looking at this, realizing this may be a little bit longer than what I intended for an HE card, but hey, that's okay. Making progress. Buddy, we cannot whine. Yeah, the sentiment looks just a little long, but I can overlap letters and it will be fine. All right. So let's see. How could we... Let's overlap these. Maybe make it a little wonky. Go ahead, just start kind of being a little wobbly with these. Just kind of, just help add to it. Let's see. Oh, he's even whining from the other room. He's probably looking for food, to be quite honest, Chris, but it's okay. He'll get it shortly. He ate before my live anyways. This dog. All right, I love this offsetness, but I need to push it all down and jumper again. Let's go ahead. That'll work. And it's not even, and that's how I wanted it. I promise, because I know if I wanted it all lined up, how I would go about that. All dogs. All right, so we're getting there. So I just need to stamp out a sentiment. So I've got my sentiment strip that's already been die cut in white. Get that down. Let's do the wishing you a. We're getting there. All right, so we're gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get it from both angles. I actually want to try to get it a little bit more centered than what I just did. All right, now we're gonna go in with some prize ribbon, distress ink. All right, perfect. And let's do a little bit of cleaning. How we doing? Oh, it's a little after an hour. That's okay. We're getting there. We're actually very close to the end. Minus the fact that we've got to put everything on the card, but we're getting there. All right. So let's start our assembly process. So I checked the website. I like to shop the website in terms of just so I know what's in stock so I can show you guys. And I saw that the I'm Wishing paper pack is back in stock. And I've actually not used this before, but it's been in my stash. And I saw that there was this really cute, I'm going to totally butcher it, maybe like a quatrefoil design. That might not be what this is, but it's just a nice sort of like embellished diamond sort of design, and I thought that that would be really pretty to put on here and then to put this over it. So that's kind of my initial thought. So let's go ahead and get things adhered down. Do our card base. Oh, my card. This glue, of course, needs to be cleaned. But we're getting there. Oh, no matter what, no matter how many times I clean it, my glue always gets a little clogged. That's okay. We're doing better now. Okay, so let's adhere this down. I think it's a really good paper pack too, Chris. It's definitely for my use of Kindred Stamps paper packs, I would call it for my own personal consumption underrated because I don't use it often enough. But just with primary colors, it's a great like back to school stamp paper pack to use too with the apples and the primary colors. So I think that there's definitely multiple uses with it. So we're gonna go ahead. Of course, it's already close. See, this is why, Justin. Let's see if I can move that over. Like that. Perfect. But yes, back to what I was saying. It's just got a lot of good use for it as a paper pack. So I agree with you, Chris. Audra dropped a couple, like, I don't want to, what would I call them, sleeper? There was a period of time, there was one release where Audra had released, like, 3 or 4 paper packs at once. And they, like, weren't related to anything with the release. They were more so with, like, sets that had been released previously. And it was the I'm Wishing. There was an underwater or, like, ocean-themed one. And then there was also the prep school pack. And if I'm not mistaken, they were all released right around the same time. And they're great paper packs. It was just like unexpected. All right, so we've got our background. Now I'm going to, where did it go? Here we go. I thought it would be pretty to use a little bit of holographic paper with our bit that we made with the solar paste. So let me clean this off really quick. And it looks like our little piece that we started off with way back at the beginning of this live did actually dry. And I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna trim the edges. Just like this. Let's see. I just like to kind of trim the edges the best that I can. But I figure we'll layer this right in the center. Yeah, of course. So please excuse my my jaggedy edges. But this is with that Beluga solar paste that I use. And as you can see, it's got that color shiftiness to it. But because it's on the blue, it kind of is already taking that blue with it, like that blue color. So if this is what you're looking for, Gwen, I hope this helps. And if you're talking about this oval piece, this is just holographic paper. So this is just from my stash. You always need some good metallic paper in your stash. All right, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a tape runner on this because that holographic paper, it doesn't really stick nicely to liquid glue, but it does stick nicely with dry adhesives. Let's go. Just like that. Hopefully it could be a little bit better. So that's the one thing I don't like about dry adhesives is that inability to just nudge things around. All right. Let's see. All right, but we'll just... All right, we'll go ahead and put this right in the center. Like that. Let me just very slightly move that. All right, perfect. So what we're gonna do is we've got our guy. I'm gonna put him in the center, and then our sentiment's gonna say, wishing you a, and then I'm gonna trim it so it says chill, and then I'll have summer underneath. So I like that. I think we're on a good, okay, we're doing good. Trim this, and then add this. That way it's like a extended sentiment strip. All right, let me grab some foam tape so we can start adhering things. There. And a little bit down there. cut that, and then we'll cut this in half. So we've got one bit right there, and one bit right here. Perfect. I am also going to say, just while you're sitting here, and I apologize if this brings up any negativity from anybody, because we all don't want to miss out on things. If anybody in this group has been able to secure the that video game limited edition kit that came out last year with the 6x8 of characters and the die builders, there is a specific princess that is included in that set, and this sort of a card layout would be so absolutely perfect for her. So keep that in mind. You might want to change a little bit of the blue, but like I'm looking at these colors and that is what I am getting from this. Sorry, so we've got our little fella. Gwen, the solar pastes are really neat. I know they just got released. I want to say it was about a week and a half ago. It was like July 9th or June 9th, I think. They're really cool. I love using them. I was lucky enough to get them in advance to play with. And I love that when I am able to play with things in advance and find that I really like them. And then I'm able to use them in other projects. So that is what I'm doing tonight. But there's 6 colors of them, just kind of like standard rainbow colors. So there's like a red, a orange, a yellow, a blue, a green, and a purple. And no problem, Karen. I'm glad you could stop by. So wishing you a chill. It's a little, I almost should have went more yellow with this because there's less, darn it. Just trying to think for a second. I don't really want to redo anything, but I could. All right, I know I'm at the very end, but I'm going to pivot for just a hot second. So bear with me. I have an idea. I think it's going to work out okay. I know I'm taking this apart and maybe making some of you scream, but we're going to get there. All right, so I'm going back. I'm going to set those off to the side. Let's go back to all of my little die cuts, and I am going to use more yellow than I did the first time because I don't love how much that blends into that background. And this would be at the point when I'd be making something and I'd be like, you know what? I don't love it. We're going to change it. So I'm just going to go in. And got that all. Oh, yeah. No. We need to fix that. I know. We were so close to the end, and here I go changing the script. But that's okay. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to try things, not like them. And if we can come up with quick little changes, we can do that. Let's just hope that doesn't take me too much more time. All right, so we're gonna fix it. And we're gonna go in with our die cutting machine. This is gonna be mostly yellow. All right, let me get these die cuts situated. Pick this up. All right, so we've got a U. My R. And then we've got an S, and an M, and an E. And what does that spell? Not summer yet. All right, we're gonna gonna die cut that last M out. All right, and then I should just do a little bit of orange on the bottom of my R. All right, pivot with me, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my right persimmon, and I know my R had like no orange on it, so let's just slightly darken that. Perfect. You can always change your mind. I agree. So I'm gonna go in and I know that I can salvage this because anything that I may be tearing is gonna be covered up. And that is not a problem. And this way, it'll pop a little bit more for me. I didn't realize that my card was going to have so much more orange in it in comparison to the yellow that I was using. So, all right, a little bit down here. That one could use a little bit of right persimmon as well. Just like that. I might as well add a little bit to the E. All right, we're getting there. Oh, I'm so sorry about the long Facebook Live, y'all, tonight. I told you I was being ambitious. I hope that was enough of a precursor. Oh, Gwen, you are so sweet. Do you know what, though? Here's the truth about projects. If you don't tell anyone you made a mistake, they'll just think it was all intentional. So, like, sometimes even when you think something you made a mistake, when someone else is looking at it, they're not going to see it. And like, we are our own harshest critics, and give ourselves like the most harshest critiques. But sometimes when I know that there's a change that I could make, and especially that change is not that big of a deal, this is just like another layer of die cutting, and it might even make my card slightly better because I'm able to layer a little bit more. So I'm not like mad about it. Until it doesn't work for me, you know? Then it sucks. All right, so let's use this just to kind of add some pressure. And then so we've got S-U-M. That M can be pretty decently. All right. But then I can do like a little offset. All right, and then we're gonna, how are we doing, Justin? Like a little bit like that. Sorry, I'm getting quiet because I'm trying to make sure everything is lined up the way that I need it to be. All right. I think we're pretty good. Now it pops. Perfect. So let's go in and add this. Press it down. You know what? I really do think that this makes quite the difference because it really does pop. So now I can't fully, maybe I can't adhere this down. This is being a little finicky. Buddy, I'm almost done, I promise. So we're gonna push this down. Just like this. And you know what? Do I need any little bits and bobs? I've got some, I don't know, I don't want to add gold to it. I think I'm gonna add just a couple silver glossy dots from my stash. Just to kind of like help make him pop. And I think that'll be it. Just like 3 of them. And move that one. Can I move that one? All right, I think we're all done. Oh my gosh, y'all, thank you for sticking with me tonight. Oh, this was, you know what though? There are a lot of elements to this card that really help make it pop. Like, we did die cutting, we did hot foiling, we did stenciling and a paste, we did Copic marker coloring. I mean, it's pretty cool. And it totally encompasses the theme of Summer Lovin' because we made a custom sentiment. So thank you guys so much for being here. And of course, I'll get this uploaded to my YouTube channel. And I'll upload a list of all the products that were used tonight. And if you ever have any questions, you can just always let me know. I'm here to help. But otherwise, I'll get this probably won't get posted until tomorrow is my thought. I like to take my photos with natural light, and now given that it's so late, I don't think I will be doing that tonight. But that's okay, because I really love how this turned out. Oh, thanks, Chris, about that. You guys are all so sweet. And like I said, thank you all for sticking with me. Thank you, Lisa and Patsy, Leanne. Thank you, Karen, Kelly, Kristen, Chris, Elizabeth. You guys are wonderful. And I appreciate you guys so much for sticking with me. Also, you guys also are getting me for a Facebook Live on Saturday this week. So I will be going live again later this week on Saturday. Mark your calendars. But I'm not going to be crafting anything. We're just going to have a fun organizing session. I'm going to show you guys how I store my Kindred Stamps products, predominantly my stamp sets. And I'm going to go over a little bit of that with you because Audra just added some Avriel pockets to the website. That's what I use for my organizing and predominantly for almost all my sets. But we'll do a little bit of that and I'll show you guys how I go about getting everything organized. And don't expect you guys to do things exactly like I do, but maybe I do 1 or 2 things that maybe you've been looking for ways to organize and it'll help. So thank you guys so much for being here. I am looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. It'll be at 12 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. If I'm wrong, I will check it. Now, you know I always try to post. And I will look forward to seeing you guys then. I am off to cook some dinner, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Goodbye.